Krishna Nagar, your maths teacher, and today we are going to study our next chapter, that is comparing quantities. And let's begin this chapter. In this chapter, what we have to study is how to compare the any two given quantities, different methods of comparing quantities. The first method is ratios. As you heard about it, the ratio is used to compare two quantities, and these two quantities must have the same units. So when the quantities are of same units, we can compare them using ratios. The ratio is represented by the two dot signs, as you can see. So this, which is read as 2, which is read as 2. So we can write it in the form of fraction. So ratios could be written as in the form of fraction also. Now, for example, write the ratio of the height of Sam to John, where Sam's height is 175 centimeter and John's height is 125 centimeter. Now, what we have to do? We have to compare the height of both the students. So, for this, how can we write? In the form of ratio, we can write it as 175 to 125. This is the way to write down the ratio. So, now, here you can see that 175 and 125 have a HCF or the common factor as 25. So we can remove the common factor and it could be written as 7:5. So, and in the form of fraction, it could be written as 7/5. So this is how we can write the ratio in the form of fraction also. Equivalent ratio. Now, what are equivalent ratios? We have already studied about the equivalent fractions. The same thing is with the ratio. The equivalent ratio is like the equivalent fraction. So to find the equivalent ratio, we need to write it in the form of fraction. To find equivalent ratio, we need to multiply or divide the numerator and the denominator with the same quantities. Let us understand this thing with the example. Now here you can see in the example, find the two equivalent ratio of 5:20. Now in this, what we have to do? We have to find the equivalent ratio. So first method to multiply any number. We can multiply the ratio 5:20 into 2/2. That means 1. So it would be 10/40. So in this, you can see, we can say that 10:40 is same as 5:20. This is the how we can multiply and get the equivalent ratio. Now, how to find the equivalent ratio? By dividing. If we divide 5 and 20 by both the denominator and the numerator by 5, we will get 1/4. So this is also the equivalent ratio. So this is how we can find equivalent ratio, by multiplying or by dividing the number with the same, both the numbers, denominator and the numerator. Now, to compare that two ratios are equivalent or not, we need to convert them in the form of like fraction. This is same as we compare the fractions. So like fractions are what are like fractions? Like fractions are those fractions which have same denominator. So again, we will consider an example. Check whether the ratio 2:3 and 3:4 are equivalent or not. What we have to do? We have to compare both the fractions, both the ratios or both the fractions, you can say. To check, first we need to make their denominator same. So what will we do? We will take the LCM of both the denominator, that is 3 and 4. So 12 is the LCM for 3 and 4. So we will multiply to convert 3 to 12. What will we do? We can multiply by 4. So we will multiply both denominator and the numerator both by the number 4. So 2 into 4 divided by 3 into 4. So it would result 8/12. Now because 12 is the LCM, so we need to multiply 4 to 3 to get 12. So we will multiply 3/3. So we will get 9/12. Now because the denominators are same, we can easily compare both the quantities and we can easily say that 8/12 is smaller than 9/12. So it would result 3/4 is greater than 2/3. So this is how we compare the ratios. So what this gives us the result? This would result 2:3 is not equivalent to 3:4. So this is how we compare the ratios. Now, the second method to compare is proportion. Proportion shows the quantity equality between two ratios. If the ratios are in proportion, then these must be equal. Proportion is always between two ratios. So if any two ratios are said to be in proportion, they must be equal. In this picture, you can see that a building is there and a tree is there. If the actual height of building divided by the actual height of tree, this should be equal to the height of the building is in drawing and height of the tree in the drawing. When we this proportion is generally used to minimize if you say in the drawing, to minimize the thing. So in which ratio we are minimizing the size of the building, in the same ratio we have to minimize the size of the tree to draw it in perfect form. So A upon B is equal to C upon D. Now, how to solve the proportion problems? That is the next topic. So to solve, let's consider this with the help of example. If the cost of 8 strawberries is rupees 64, then what will be the cost of 25 strawberries? Now, this question could be solved with two different methods. The first method, which we know, that is unitary method. So what we have to do, we will in unitary method we calculate the value of one thing, then multiply it to get the value of other number of things. So here what is given? Cost of 8 strawberries is equal to 64. So to calculate the cost of one strawberry, what we have to do? We have to divide 64 upon 8. So cost of one strawberry would be 64 upon 8. Now to calculate this cost of 25 strawberries, what we will do? We will multiply the cost of one strawberry with a 25. So 64 upon 8 into 25 is equal to 200. So cost of 25 strawberries will be 200. So this is the unitary method. Now, how to solve this same question with proportion, using proportion? So what will we do? Let the cost of 25 strawberries is equal to rupees X. Now, 8 is to 25. The cost of 8 strawberries is to 25. The number of strawberries are there. So 8 strawberries cost 64 and 25 strawberries cost X. So 8 is to 25 is equal to 64 to X. That is the ratio. Now what will we do? We will convert them into fraction. That is 8 upon 25 is equal to 64 upon X. By cross multiplying them, we will get the value of X is equal to 64 into 25 divided by 8, and this would result 2200. So this is the how we use the proportion to solve any question. Next method of comparison is percentage. The percentage is another way to comparison. In the ratio, we have to make the denominators same, then only we can compare. But in percentage, we can compare by calculating the percentage of the given quantity. So in percentage, each quantity or each question have its own value, and they can be compared directly, because in percentage any given ratio is converted into percentage or percent, that is per 100. It is converted into per 100, and other quantity is also converted into per 100. So both the comparison of both the quantities become very easy. Directly we can compare in percentage. The percentage, the numerator in the percentage is 100. Sorry, the numerator is the ratio and the denominator is always 100 in percentage. Now, symbol for percentage is the sign. This is the sign for the percentage. And what does actually it mean? 1 out of 100 or 100 means 1%. We can write it as 1 upon 100 or 0.01. This means 1%. And it shows a percentage if the total number of quantities in 100. That is, any part divided by whole is equal to percent upon 100. Okay. Now, let us understand it with the help of example. What is the percentage of boys and girls in the class of 100 students if the number of boys are 55 and the number of girls is 45. So percentage of girls would be number of girls divided by total number of girls, that is equal to 45 divided by 100 into 100, that is 45%. Now percentage of boys is total number of boys divided by total number of students is equal to 45 upon 100, that is 45%. So percentage if the total number is not 100. This is when the number is 100. But if the denominator is not 100, that means the total number of the students or any quantity is not 100, then what we have to do? If the total number of the quantity is not 100, that is denominator is not 100, then to find the percentage, what we have to do? We have to make the denominator as 100. How to make the denominator as 100? Let us take the help of the example. Out of 4 bees, 2 are going right and 2 are going left. So what percentage of bees are going to the right? Okay. Now here you can see the total number of bees are 4. So here the denominator is not 100. So you can see in this picture, out of 4, 2 are going to the left and 2 are going to the right. This question could be solved with the help of 2 methods, that is unitary method and the percentage method. Let us consider first the let's understand the unitary method. So out of 4 bees, the number of bees going to the right are 2. Hence out of 100, the number of bees are going to the right are 2 upon 4 into 100, that is 50%. Okay, and the number of bees, so this is how the unitary method works. And how to, the second method is by making the denominator 100. Out of 4 bees, the number of bees are going to the right are 2. Now to convert the denominator to 100, what we have to do? We will multiply both numerator and denominator by 25. So it would result 50 upon 100. So what will be the percentage? 50%. Okay. Converting the fractional number to the percentage. Now how to convert any fraction to percentage? Fractional numbers have different denominators. So and to convert them into percentage, we have to multiply the fraction with the 100. Whenever we have to find the percentage in any fraction, what will we do? We will directly multiply that particular fraction with the 100. Now, see in this example, out of 15 fishes, 5 are red. What are the percentage of red fishes? In this question, we have to calculate the percentage of red fishes. So, how many fishes are red? 5. Out of how many? 15. So, 5 upon 15 is the fraction. To convert it into percentage, we will multiply this by 100. So, it would result 33 so 1 upon 3%. So, this is how we multiply, we get percentage, how we convert the fraction into percentage. Okay. Second topic is converting percentage to fraction or decimal. If the percentage is given to you and you have to convert them into fraction or in decimal, how we will go do it? To convert, we can reverse the above process. What we have done, to convert any fraction to the percentage, we have multiplied that particular fraction with 100. So now to convert any percentage to the fraction, we will just reverse the process. What will we do? We will simply divide the fraction by 100. To convert into percentage, we multiply with the 100, and to convert percentage into fraction, we divide by 100. So in this given table, you can see the percentage is given to you, 2%. To convert in fraction, it could be written as 2 upon 100, and to convert it into decimal, it would be 0.02. The second is 23%. So 23 upon 100, that is 0.23. And the third one is 56%. So in fraction, 56 upon 100, and in decimal form, it is 50.56. So parts always add to a given a whole. Now, if we know that one part of a whole, then we can find the other part, because all the parts together form 100%. Okay. If in any case some part is given to us, So we can easily calculate, if the percentage is given to us, we can easily calculate the other part. For example, if there are 25 men in office of 100 employees, then remaining 75 would be women. That is obvious. So whenever the percentage is given, so what does it mean? This means that if 25% of are men, then 100 minus 25%, that is 75% are women. Okay, fun with estimation. Okay, we will do something different. Now with the help of percentage, we can estimate the part of an area. What we can do? We can estimate the part of area. Okay, here that is this example. What percentage of the given figure is shaded? Here in this triangle, 3 corners are shaded and the mid part is remain empty. Now what we have to do? We have to find the percentage of the shaded portion. So first we have to find the fraction of the shaded portion. In this figure you can easily see that triangle is divided into 4 equal parts and 3 parts are shaded. So what fraction is shaded? 3 upon 4 fraction is shaded. Now to convert this is 3 upon 4 into percentage, we will multiply 3 upon 4 into 100. So it would be 75%. So we can say that the 75% of area is shaded. Use of percentage. The first use is interpreting percentage. To use the percentage in real life, we must able to interpret the percentage. For example, if we say that Seema is spending 25% of her income, then it means that Seema is spending 25 out of 100 rupees she earning. And if the salary is, whatever the salary is, it depends upon the salary how much she is spending on. Okay, next is converting percentage how many to how many. For example, if 20% of students get a distinction out of 45 students in a class, then how many students got the distinction? Now, percentage is given to us, number of students is given to us. We have to calculate the what are the 20% of that 45 students. So for this, what will we do? 20%, that means 20 upon 100 and multiplying this whole by total number of students, that means 45. So it would result 9. It means 9 students out of 45 students got distinction. This is how we convert the percentage in, we use the percentage in how many type of questions. Okay, now ratio to percentage. How to convert ratio to percentage? This see this example. If the profit is rupees 25,000 is divided among 3 partners in such a way that A, B and C got 2 parts, 3 parts of and 5 parts of profit respectively, how many money will each get? What percentage of the profit do they get? Here we have given that when the profit is 2500, that means 2500 is the profit. It is divided into 3 partners and A, B, C in such a way that the 2 parts, 3 parts and 5 parts of profit. Okay, now 2 parts, 3 parts and 5 parts. So that is the ratio, that is 2 is to 3 is to 5. So now what we have to do? We have to find the percentage of their share in the profit. So what will we do? We will convert this into fraction. To convert the ratio into fraction, we will add all the fractions, that all the ratios, that is 2 plus 3 plus 5. Okay, that is 10. Now the fraction of share of A is 2 upon 10 out of 2500 or 2500. So that would be 500 rupees. And to convert this into percentage, we will, what will we do? We will simply multiply by 100. So 2 upon 10 into 100 is equal to 20%. Similarly, B got 3 parts of out of 10 parts and it would be multiplied by 2500 and it would result 750, and to convert it into percentage, we will multiply 3 upon 10 into 100. So it would be 30%. And for the C, we again, that is 5 out of 10 into 2500, so it would be 1250. And the regarding percentage, again we will multiply by 100, that is 5 into 10 into 100, it would result 50%. That means A got 20% of share, B got 30%, and the C got for 50% out of the profit. Now, increase or decrease as percent. Sometimes we have to find the increase or decrease in certain quantities as percentage, like increase in population or decrease in sale, like this. So, to find the increase or decrease, what is the formula we use? That is, increase or decrease in percentage is equal to amount of change divided by original amount. Remember this original amount, always consider the original amount into 100. Now, understand this example with this formula with the help of this example. The total marks of Charlie increased from 365 to 380 from last year's result to this year's result. Now, what we have to do? We have to find the increase in percentage. So here the total marks, original marks of the Charlie is 365. Increase in marks is 380 minus 365, that is 15. So therefore percentage increase in Charlie's marks would be 15 upon 365 into 100, and this is equal to 4.10%. So this is how we can calculate the percentage increase or decrease. Now the next use of percentage is buying and selling. So before studying the before understanding the percentage use, we must familiar with certain terms, that is cost price, selling price, profit and loss. So let us start with the cost price. So what is cost price? Cost price is the price at which you buy the some product. It is written as CP. Okay. Whenever you buy some product, that is the cost price for you. If you are, and this same thing, same price is the selling price for the shopkeeper. The cost at which we are buying is the cost price, and the seller who is selling the product, that same price is selling price for that shopkeeper. So always remember, if you are buying something, that is cost price. If you are selling something, that is selling price. So cost price is the price at which you buy some product, and it is written as CP. Selling price is the price at which you sell something, and it is written as SP. That is the symbol used for cost price and selling price. Now these are the factors which tell us that the sale of some product is profitable or not. Okay, how? If the cost price is less than the selling price, then it's a profit. If selling price and cost price both are equal, then no loss, no profit. If cost price is greater than the selling price, then it's a loss. Okay, for us. Now let us clear this all with the help of this example. If the buying price or the cost price of a table is 700 and the selling price of this same table is 820, then find the profit or loss. Here you can easily see that cost price and selling price, which is greater? Selling price is greater, so obvious it's a profit. So when SP is more than CP, so the seller earns the profit on the table. So profit will be selling price minus cost price. So that is 820 minus 700. So 80 would be the rupees 80 would be the profit on this table. Profit or loss on percentage. Now this is the what we have calculated, only profit. When we have to convert this into percentage, how much percent profit or loss he or she can have, so we have to convert this into percentage. To convert the profit or loss into percentage, it is always calculated on cost price. This is very important. Always remember that the profit and loss are always calculated on the cost price only, not on selling price in any case. So profit percentage is equal to profit into 100 divided by cost price, and the loss percentage is loss into 100 divided by cost price. In the both cases, we always calculate profit or loss on the cost price. Now consider this example. If the cost price of a laptop is 45,000 and the selling price is rupees 50,000, then what is the profit or loss? Here cost of laptop is given to you and the selling price of laptop is given to you. So here you can easily see that the cost price is less than selling price, so the owner is having profit. Now CP is 45, SP is 50,000, so profit will be SP minus CP, that is 5,000 rupees. Now we have to calculate the profit percentage. So 5,000 divided by 45,000, because cost price is 45,000 into 100. So the percentage profit percentage is 11.11%. So always remember that the profit and loss are calculated on only cost price. Next is how to find selling price if cost price and profit is or loss percentage is given to you. So remember that first we have to calculate the number. First we have to convert the percentage into the number, then we can easily subtract or add in cost price to get the selling price. So the formula for selling price is equal to 100 plus profit percentage divided by 100 into cost price, and for in case of loss, selling price is equal to 100 minus loss divided by 100 into cost price. So again, let's take an example. If the cost of a TV is 25,000 and the shopkeeper sells it at the loss percentage of 5%, then what is the selling price of the TV? Loss percentage is given to you, cost price is given to you. What we have to do? We have to calculate the selling price. So cost price is equal to 25,000, loss percentage is equal to 5%, selling price is equal to, now we will can use directly the formula 100 minus loss percent divided by 100 into CP. So 100 minus 5 divided by 100, 95 upon 100 into 25,000, so it would result 23,750. So hence the selling price of the laptop is 23,750. Now how to find the CP if SP and profit or loss percentage is given to you? In the previous example you learned how to calculate selling price. Now we will learn how to calculate cost price. So for this the formula is given to us. CP is equal to 100 divided by 100 plus profit into selling price. For calculating cost price we use selling price, and similarly for loss 100 divided by 100 minus loss percent into selling price. So these are the formula which we can use for the question to get the selling price. So let's do one example regarding this. If the selling price of a bookshelf is 750 and the profit made by the seller is 10%, then what is the cost price of the bookshelf? What is given to us? Selling price is given to us, percentage profit is given to us, we have to calculate the cost price. So SP is equal to 750, profit percentage is equal to 10%, so we will use this formula. Cost price is equal to 100 divided by 100 plus profit percent into 100. So is equal to 100 divided by 100 plus 100 plus 10 into 750, and this would result 681.81. So we can say 682 round off is the cost price of the bookshelf. Now simple interest. When we borrow some money from bank, then we have to pay some interest to the bank. The money which we borrow is called the principal. The amount which we have to pay to the bank to use the money is called interest, and the total amount, that is the principal and the interest, both combinedly known as amount. So amount is equal to principal plus interest. Now how to calculate the simple interest? There is a formula for that. Simple interest is equal to principal multiplied by rate of interest into the time for which the interest is given to you divided by 100. So this is the formula to calculate the simple interest. Let's do one example on the basis of this formula. Sunita borrows a loan of 50,000 at the rate 15% per annum for the time. Find the interest she has to pay at the end of 1 year. So we have to calculate simple interest for 1 year at the rate of 15%, and the amount, the principal amount is 50,000. So we will simply place the value P is equal to 50,000, R is equal to 15, T is equal to 1. So putting this value in the formula, we will get 7,500. So total amount to be paid at the end by Sunita will be 50,000 plus 7,500, that is 57,500. Okay. Interest for multiple years. If we have to calculate the interest for more than 1 year, then we have to change simply the time period. Okay, in the previous example, we have seen that Sunita have taken loan for just 1 year. If the same loan is taken for 3 years, what we have to do? We have to change only the time period. That is, principal is 50,000, rate of interest is 15%, time is 3. So we will use the same formula, SI is equal to P into T into R upon 100, that is 50,000 into 15 into 3 divided by 100. So it would be 22,500. The total amount to be paid by Sunita at the end of 3 years would be 50,000 plus 22,500. So that is 72,500. So this is how we use the formula of simple interest for multiple years. Okay, thanks for watching.